That was a beautiful delivery.
Good evening,
I'm still
everybody,
muted.
and
Well,
welcome into
you
the
missed something,
stream.
folks. You missed the intro of a lifetime.
Hello.
It's gonna be
Hi.
one of those nights.
We're here.
Yeah, we are.
All right. Well, anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome back into our lovely adventures on a boat. As Adrian here is going to recount exactly what happened last week and where we're at right now as things have gotten a little wrangly.
So, last session starts like many sessions we have that are in Waterdeep. We bought a bunch of crap. Yeah, we all got our new items and head to the mortuary after a brief chat with Umbric. Bunny is still Bunny, which is just grade A, fantastic. Rin had stopped by recently, so that's at least news. We don't know much more than that. Sahiri winds up leaving a note. Murray winds up with a girlfriend. I don't exactly remember 100% how that happened, but I think Adrin blacked it out.
That's fair.
You
That's
know,
fair.
we had a good time hanging out with Bunny though. And then, oh no, I remember you offered to let her experiment with one of your mushrooms from the Feywild and just
I
do
gave her
whatever
a
the
key to
fuck
my
she
house for the Feywild mushrooms, yeah.
And now she's gonna move in. Good luck. And then while Adrian goes shopping for gifts to give Captain Legs, Garvin and Murray go and try to find a seasickness cure for Adrian. It works, which is pretty awesome, but there may be some repercussions. I may be a little too fond of these candies now. Who knows? All of
Licorice
this on our
addiction.
way.
Yes.
Yeah, right. All of this on our way to see Captain Legs, who, we find him aboard his new ship. Or I guess I should say our new ship, really, but not the point. And he agrees to take us to. That's on a different page. Where we're going.
Samarkand?
Thank you, Samarkand.
Is that right? I was close.
Samarok.
I was close.
Samarkand
You know what?
is a different game.
My brain said Samarkand every single time I was trying to think of that word, and so I just didn't write it down because I knew I was going to get it wrong.
I think I said the same thing last week and got it wrong. So, you know. Don't worry.
He agrees to take us. We figure out our sleeping arrangements, which isn't important. But Coco and Garvin wind up talking, and they talk about learning magic, or Coco learning magic. We met the chef, whose name is Cookie. He's pretty cool. We met a half-orc named Brick that Garvin drank under the table, which was interesting. And our first day went pretty uneventfully. When it's time for supper, we let the helmsman eat with the crew by having the invisible servant hold the helm for him. We didn't really establish how badly that went, so I'm assuming it went great. And after we eat, as I mentioned, Garvin and Murray start a drinking contest in classic us fashion. Coco's taking bets, so obviously we make a little money. Garvin wins at 4-to-1 odds, which means we get everything. And Garvin winds up not being able to sleep, but works on spell stuff all night long. Only the spell stuff happens way more quickly than he was expecting, and than usual. So he winds up exhausted from lack of sleep, obviously, and we all get our normal mornings in, except Murray, who's got a hangover, and we sit down with Captain. He gives us a rough history of, I did write it down, Samrak, there it is. And we've decided, or Coco has decided, that we'll be stopping in Port Nyanzaru to see Wakaga. Is that right?
Wakaga Otamu. Thank you.
Oh, I scribbled something out and then wrote the last name. That's why I was confused. He is a Harper contact of ours. There's merchant princes that make up the ruling council of the area, and Coco wants to find the right-hand rule. But then we got attacked, and there's tentacles.
I'm not a fan of tentacles. Sorry. They're slimy. They're gross. They kind of like they have like this suctiony-esque thing going
All
on with
about
them. They're just-
context, really.
So
Depends if you're on
Yes.
the receiving end or not.
you all had gotten back up on the ship. You had heard thumps, and the ship shook on the water. Eventually, Coco climbed to the top of the crow's nest and looked down and noticed, or no, she flew up to the top of the crow's nest and noticed a shadow underneath the water. This long, it's actually very huge, but it had multiple tentacles out of it. Eventually, the tentacles wrapped around, and a creature surfaced out of the water. I will re-institute that picture for chat for everybody to see.
Ew, we don't want to see that.
I do. I think it's adorable.
Okay, it's not bad.
It's kind of cute
Thank you.
with its big,
It's super cute.
bulbous red eyes.
I
Yeah,
love
it's
them.
just that big and cuddly, and
E.
it wants to eat you.
It's
So
our
baby.
squishy. It's our squishy. We're gonna keep it and we'll call it squishy.
Yes.
so I've already had everybody roll for initiative just to kind of get things moving here. So start of the round here as this creature has come up, multiple tentacles ready to attack. Coco, you are currently first up.
Has it breached the surface of the water?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's actually gripped onto parts of the ship, so two of its tentacles are grabbed on the ship, and it's kind of facing a little bit out of the water at the moment.
Can I reach its face from the ship?
The face, no. You could probably reach its tentacles, though, unless you did a range attack.
How far out is the face?
15 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna go stab it in its face. I can fly.
That's true. Okay. So Coco goes and flies
The
out in
DM
front
is
of
now
the
like,
monster.
why did I give her boots that let her fly? Dang it.
She just saw all the
So-
other birds doing it. She really wanted to.
Let me.
You can roll normal. It was just
Oh,
for
okay,
initiative because
okay.
that tracked it there.
Okay,
I haven't made the pull to force you guys all to use the game log, so you're fine.
Thank goodness. I have so many dice. I'd be so sad if
So
I couldn't
why?
use 'em.
Yeah, me too. I just don't care anymore.
Okay,
It's
so
so much easier.
that is. Oh my goodness. We haven't done combat in a little bit. 16.
16 to hits.
Excellent. I stab it with my rapier. I'm going to assume that it's just a regular old stabby because it's not engaged with anyone else at the present time, unless
Cool.
the ship counts as an ally.
No, it does not.
I didn't think so.
Done.
Okay,
Well, not until we make it awaken.
so that is
This is not.
it's a really
This
terrible
is not
roll.
Divinity
But
2.
Yeah,
that's-
it can
that's 7 points of regular old stabby damage, and 4 points of fire damage.
Okay. Just to make your life easier, you can just give me your totals.
Okay.
For your weapons, it doesn't seem to have any effect.
Okay, perfect.
different
I split it up
effects.
at least the first time,
Yep.
just in case it was
Yep.
resistant
Nope,
to
it looks
fire.
like everything went through.
Perfect.
However, it sees you come at it, and it's
Can
gonna.
can I bonus action disengage and?
Yeah,
Because I'm a rogue.
yeah. You have not finished your turn.
Because that was kind of the plan: is go in, stabby,
Oh,
disengage.
I don't like those words. You haven't finished your turn. God damn it. Fucking legendary actions.
So
It's not going to be fun at all.
What's your
So
what's your full movement?
40.
So 15.
So I have
25.
So I have 25 feet of movement up.
Okay. So it's not going to grab at you, but what it is going to do is it sees one of the crew members and it's going to swing at it instead.
NPC cannon fodder.
All right. So it hits the crewmate. It looks like it's the
Please
actually,
don't be somebody important.
it's the bosun. So this is
Oh no.
just it's one of the standard. It's a bosun, pirate bosun, so he's one of the standard guys. And can he save?
Or standard NPC.
He does not
mean, he
save, so
might
he
be
is
able to.
now grappled,
Oh, I was.
and you'll take
Damages.
some damage. But he is
I
now
guess
grappled
it's
and
not
restrained.
friendly.
He's grappled and restrained, so he is now caught in the. Why is the light doing the whatever? He is now caught in the tentacles at the moment. Yeah, that's better. All right, Adrian.
Well, I guess it's not friendly. Shocker. Okay. Can the giant spooky calamari baby make me a wisdom save, please?
Sure. What are you casting?
Mind spike.
Let me make sure there's nothing special here, but it fails.
Cool. In that case, let's go ahead and roll that damage. 16.
Okay.
Damage.
All right.
And then, how does that look? Does that look like it?
Yeah. It looks like it took
Delivers?
the
Okay.
the full brunt of that damage.
Cool. Then in that case, I'm going to quick in a firebolt.
Okay.
Let me spend the points. Give me a second. Quick in a firebolt with 18 to hit.
18 will hit.
Sweet. 17 damage.
Okay, good hit, good hit. As it turns and flings the crewmate at you.
Oh, good. That'll be fun. My AC is garbage, but I have a buttload of hit points.
So it was it's throwing it. That's 30 feet away now because it pulled it back because it's got 20 feet of reach. So,
oh dear God, is it gonna do fall damage to me?
it does fall damage to the guy first,
Oh no.
and then I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Dex. Ooh. Okay. Let's see.
So the
Wait.
crew member's prone and he's still alive. However,
I mean, you're a sorcerer, right? That's a dex class.
Not
You're
even
fine,
slightly.
don't worry
But
about
I got I got a mod 20.
okay. So you will. Let's see. Does it take all damage or only a portion of the damage?
Yikes.
You
Before you tell
managed
me-
to. So you see the bosun or the crew member come flying at you, and you manage to dive out of the way in time, as you were not hit by him, but he does take the brunt of the damage.
Does he die?
No, he is still alive.
Good. Okay. We're moving on then.
All right. Now the Kraken's up. And he's going to take another swing at you, Adrian, with another tentacle.
No, that's perfectly valid.
Oh. Well, you're lucky he misses on that one.
Okay.
But he's got a second attack.
That's fine.
And that's a 23 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you you take 15 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are now grappled and restrained.
And restrained.
Correct.
Oh, that's not great.
boy. The bosun who was injured stands up and he throws a dagger at it because really he doesn't have that much he can do. Oh no, he's gonna try and run back at it with his hook. He's got a hook. He's gonna try and hit it with. He's actually trying to hit the tentacles off the ship, but not with a 13.
Pulls out a fishing hook.
Yeah, pretty much. He grabs the hook. He goes to spear the tentacle off of the ship, but he misses.
Oh, I meant like a fishing hook like this size. He just pulls it off his vest and chases down a kraken.
All right, so next up is Captain Legs. And he's going to kind of do the same thing. He wants this thing off of his ship. So he's going to go over. He's going to swing with his long sword. And he is going to hit. Wow, for 12 points of damage. Well, not quite, because his weapon isn't magical. And then he's going to try and shoot it with a hand crossbow. And he'll hit with that as well. For 5, but not 5. And, well, it's got somebody grappled. So he is going to, who's the next one up? Who's next one up on the ship? Actually, no, even better. He is going to throw Adrin at Coco.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Wow. Okay.
Up goes the Adrin.
So Coco is
I'll be fine.
25 feet in the air.
Okay.
15 feet away from the ship.
So if this kraken misses Coco, because Coco is on a small platform 25 feet up, does that mean that I'm going past it and then taking the relevant?
We will calculate that when it comes. All right, Coco, I need you to make me a dex saving throw.
I might need to.
Sure.
I might need to burn my.
Unless you
reaction
want to
make
catch
sure
the
this thing
flying
hits.
I was gonna say, can I use my reaction and try to catch him trapeze style?
Now you'll still take.
Catch me.
You both will still take the damage from that, from the impact, but you could stop him from taking potentially more damage.
Because
I have a
under me,
lot of hit
because I'm directly over the creature. I don't want him falling on the thing. So yeah, I'll take that damage and try and catch him.
Okay, so
Could you use acrobatics plus uncanny dodge to try to mitigate some of the damage to them?
Or at least to her.
it's a
Because I think that's what she was
It's a dex
suggesting
saving
with-
throw.
I mean, I
'Cause
am
she
good
did
at.
say trapeze.
While flying.
Like if he's coming at me, it's just grabbing hands as he goes sailing by. It's not going to be
Oh,
pretty.
the spinning.
Oh no.
So like grab
gonna-
hands and you
I'm
guys
gonna
windmill
So-
like into a
smash
spin.
All right,
the-
your uncanny dodge is going to give you the ability to move out of the way of him, but you're going to need to use. It's going to need to be strength. So it's going to have to be athletics to grab him to keep him from going further. So
Well,
you can avoid
what
taking
if-
the damage. Both of you can avoid taking the damage here if you can succeed on a strength saving throw or acrobatics check. I mean, athletics check.
Athletics.
Just tell us what you roll before the answer is decided. I still have a reaction.
Okay,
I
so
can
I am
add
making
to it.
I am making an athletics check
Yes.
with my big old +0.
I have faith in you.
Your faith is misplaced. That was a 2. Sorry, I
Oh,
tried.
I can't fix that.
Nope. Sorry, that was a very bad roll. At least it wasn't a 1. If it was a 1, I suspect that terrible things would happen, but now only bad things are going to happen.
So,
That's fine.
okay. So you try
I
moving out of the
tried.
way and grab
Womp
him,
womp.
but he
Yeah,
slips through
and-
your hands and shoots past you.
Oh shit!
So I'm gonna
How far
say,
does he throw?
oh god, how far does, what is his maximum fling here? 40
What
feet.
is this maximum fling?
So it's
There's
40.
a question you don't hear every day.
It's 40 feet. Okay. So
So here's a question though: did it fling me straight up? Because if not, I'm probably off the back of the ship.
because it was 15, he pulled you back and threw you up towards that Coco who was just above him. So you kind of went in an arc. You're gonna hit back onto the ship at that angle.
Oh no.
I mean,
That's gonna suck.
it's only 4d6. It's not that bad.
Oh, I'm fine. I have the most hit points of the whole party for whatever reason.
So
for now.
you take 15
Yeah.
points of bludgeoning damage and you're knocked prone onto the ground of the back of the
Yeah,
ship.
no kidding. Okay.
All right, Garvin.
Yikes.
I am going to attempt to cast Detect Thoughts on this creature. As a start, there's a lot going on, and I think Garvin's first thought is to see if we can even reason with this thing. So that would be a DC 16.
What intelligence?
I'm looking.
wisdom?
Hold on. I'm pulling it up right now. You initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature, and what's on its mind as an action. You can either shift your. It's not saying. Hold on. Let me check on the spells page. On my. No, it is a DC 12 Wisdom save. Sorry, because this is from a feat, I guess.
Okay.
Although that doesn't
Yeah.
seem right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's because it was for a wisdom bonus. Yeah.
It fails.
Yes. So I initially learned the surface thoughts of it's what's most on its mind at the moment. And I want to use my action. I believe I can probe deeper. Yeah, I can probe deeper. I gain insight to any of its reasoning, its emotional state, and something that looms large on its mind. Essentially, I'm trying to understand why it's attacking us.
It's hungry.
Nom nom.
Yeah, it's hungry. It senses foolish mortals entering his water, and
Also, now it's taken a buttload of damage.
yeah, now, and you also they hurt, so they will pay.
You need to kill the thing, guys. It says we heard it. Now we're gonna pay. It's not happy. It is intelligent, whatever the hell it is. I'm shouting out. Its thoughts are rather nasty. Something about foolish mortals.
And you see something weird. You see its eye turn and face you.
I think it can understand me.
All right. Anything else?
I duck behind the mast.
Okay.
No, that's a bad idea. Garvin does that at first and continues on past it. Where's Sahiri?
Or on deck.
You're not on deck?
No, somewhere on deck. She probably wherever we had just come up and was like standing
Okay.
probably by the door or the opening we just came up and is like, okay.
Garvin dives off the ship into the water.
Okay.
For right now, yes. That's what he's going to do.
Okay.
It's focused on him.
The creature is going to it can't do that. Okay, so nope, nothing. All right, Murray.
Okay. This is gonna be fun. So, Murray Oh, you're smart. Okay. Hey, how about I pay for our passage with food? And then I cast Conjure Animals at 5th level, which doubles the amount of animals that I summon. And I summon 16 beasts of CR 1/4. And I'm aiming at the water, like I'm casting it out into the water, basically. So it's gonna have a smorgasbord of
16
num-nums.
beasts at 1/4, eh?
Yeah, CR. I don't even care if they're fucking aquatic, man. It's food for the whatever this is.
They're also technically allies within 5 feet of it, Coco.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can
Like
have them
fucking
maybe loosely
30 of
flail
them.
and attack. Oh,
They don't-
he'll want to eat
they
them
don't
by the
need
time
to
by the time I'm
attack.
done.
You know
Oh,
what?
they
Just
will,
because
though.
this is fun.
Yeah, swans.
I don't think any of these have a swim speed. This
Angry
is
geese.
It's wonderful.
okay.
It's wonderful.
16 sea otters.
I love fucking conjure animals, dude.
Oh, no,
It's
I'm
so
making them
good.
all. It's all. It's not all of one anything. It's gonna be a bunch of different things.
Oh, it's a smorgasbord, dude.
A
it's a buffet.
smorgasbord.
It's buffet de Murray, man. Here you go. Axebeak, boar, constrictor, snake, draft horse. Oh my god.
There's 16 in that entire list of 1/4, so you get all
A
of
random
them.
koala bear
Alright.
starts drowning.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so that's my action. To end my turn, I'm just gonna back up towards the middle of the boat, kind of hug my staff and be like, more if you want. But come on, man. Be cool.
Okay.
That's what I got. Eyes are kind of darting, like, oh fuck. Oh.
All right. So, two of the next two are the two more shipmates. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Four shipmates plus the first mate. So the first mate yells out, "Get to the cannon or get to the weapons!" So we get two of them heading to the all right, I gotta bring up the ship real quick. Two of them go to the Mangonel, and the other two go to the Ballista. So they're going to fire with those. So the Ballista, they get one shot each, and the other one's loading. So they'll be able to do basically one attack per round as opposed to 2 rounds for loading. So they're to attack for the Ballista, +6 to hit. That one will miss, and then the Mangonel. Wow. I couldn't roll for squat on those. All right, so they both miss. But the other ones are reloading, so they'll be ready the next turn. All right. Sahiri.
Well, he's already damaged, so we might as well try to toll him. So that's a DC 17.
Ooh. Oh no, he makes that. I hit the wrong one. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Fine.
Anything else?
No, because nobody's in dire need of anything at the moment.
Okay. All right, Coco. We're back to the top. So you saw this thing grab Adrin and fling him at you.
And then,
Crunch.
yeah, it did not go well. Okay, well, Adrian has at least landed more or less safely on the deck.
Little less.
So, yeah, best thing to do is get this thing away from the boat as quickly as possible. So Coco's gonna get back in there, fly back down, and is gonna. Can we aim for specific locations when we're
I mean, you can. It may not make a difference on things, but it like the you saw the crew going after the tentacles.
I'm going after its eyes.
Okay, so
Those are the big red.
if you want to go after a specific part like that, I think we're gonna treat it like a great weapon master, where you have to take a penalty, but you get the bonus to the damage.
Yeah,
Sure.
like a called shot from Pathfinder.
Sure. Well, I will. What? I will tell you the number I roll, and you can subtract whatever
just-
penalty you deem appropriate.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's not bad at all. So that is no computer. What are you doing? Go away. Stupid pop-ups. That is a math is hard. That's 24 to hit. So minus whatever.
Okay, you'll hit.
Yay. And for oh wow. 17, and that's 20 points on the dice
Okay.
plus whatever you decide to do it.
Okay.
Stab it in its eyeball.
So yeah, you do get some extra. You do see like it does extra damage, and you hear it scream out this unearthly wail. You don't even know where the sound is actually coming from it.
I'm
but
hoping to be able to make it not be able to see us.
it's you don't pop the eye, but it will be injured for sure. So there will be some advantages for you guys on that.
And that was 25 feet. I'm gonna bonus action disengage and hop back onto the deck of the ship, which should be 15 feet away.
Okay. All right. Well, after that, it's still going to try and now grab you. But
Couldn't
it's
get far enough away from it, no matter what. So.
yeah. So, but it's not going to be as effective of trying to do that. Oh well, that doesn't matter. That's a 28 to hit.
Let me think about that for a minute.
No.
You know,
Did it roll a natural 20?
No,
Okay.
that was a disadvantage.
Oh, that's right.
Jesus.
You have a disadvantage. Look at me. I have a big monster.
So you take
She wants to use her ability. Come on now.
you take 21 points of bludgeoning damage as you are now grappled and restrained.
Owie. Okay.
All right. Owl's up. The giant owl that was
Okay,
just
so
summoned. Oh, I'll post this for
because
everybody.
I
These are all the
didn't-
animals that were summoned.
So all of them are just going to be like flopping around, trying not to drown, except the owl. That's going to be hovering. Because I didn't give it a command on my turn, it technically is just going to defend itself from hostile enemies until I give it a command. So the owl is going to be like, fluttering and doing its thing. But all of the rest of them are just trying not to drown at this point.
Okay.
Like the horses, the elk, and everything are just trying not to drown.
Yep.
That's it. But
All
the
right.
owl will have something to do later, but not now.
Okay, Adrian.
Okay, so I have a question for you here. Because we're able to target its eyes specifically, if I twin a spell, can I hit both?
So, no, because twin spells require two separate targets.
But they're two separate eyes.
No, it's got
If
one
we're
big
reasoning
eye.
that the-
Doesn't it? Am I
No,
missing?
it's
Look,
got
the
eyes on each
picture
Oh,
side.
it
has-
does have
shows it-
two. Okay.
Yeah, the picture showed it with 2 eyes.
So,
If it's still a no, it's still a no. I just
yeah.
I'm curious. Because it's still the same creature, so I understand that like it's supposed to be targeting two separate targets.
Okay, because I've
like,
allowed
a
that
magic
for there,
sense.
we'll go for it.
Oh no, I was arguing against myself. But cool, I'll take it. In that case, this is gonna. I'm gonna need a dexterity saving throw from this monster twice as I twin a 5th level catapult into its eyes.
What's your DC?
It is 17, I believe.
Okay, it's saved on one, failed on the other.
If you know what, hold 1 second. Twinned is 5 points. Ow.
Based on spell.
Yeah, I know. And then 2 more. Subtract a d4 from the roll that succeeded, please.
It'll fail.
I'm gonna bend.
Oh no, I
roughly.
forgot. There's
It'll fail.
no. There's you got a penalty. Hold on, because you were trying to do that. No, it saves.
Okay.
So it's one save,
well,
one fail.
I tried. Okie dokie. Whichever eye gets hit takes 37 damage of ball bearing, moving at relativistic velocity.
Mock
And
whatever.
Adrian stands up, pissed.
Dude, how many newtons of energy is that? Holy crap, man.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Nah, I blew like everything there.
Okay. All right. It's going to try to swallow Coco.
I don't want to be swallowed, thank you.
So who's making
If it's
the
all
roll
the
in
same
this
to
case?
you, I'd rather not.
A 22 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
My IC's not that good.
Okay, so you're
I
gonna
mean,
take.
it's good, but it's not that good.
You take 19 points of piercing damage.
Ow.
All right, and you are swallowed. So you're now blinded and restrained, and nothing outside of the Kraken can directly affect you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ow.
Alright.
Ow. Ow.
So the one crewmate who was flung earlier is going to continue to try to do his hook attack on the tentacle to try and break it off, and he misses again. Captain Legs is going to do the same thing with his sword and his hand crossbow. Hey, he hit.
Good job, buddy.
And then his hand crossbow. He hit again. Wow, he's being quite adept. He's hit both attacks so far. All right. After he does that, though, the Kraken is going to go under the water, and all you're going to see right now is black ink in the water.
Was it going straight down?
It's just gone, as far as you can see, it just went just below the water. It's not actually getting a movement. This is a reaction for that, plus it's legendary, so.
Okay, because I was
Oh,
underwater. That's why I was asking.
Oh, yeah, well, you're it's 40 foot radius from it, so it's
so it just hit the water underneath and then went black.
yeah, everything's black, so you can't even
Okay.
see. You're heavily obscured.
Question: remind me how concentration checks work, and teach me how to do it so that I can do what 3 now from the fuckload of damage that I just took.
What did you have active that was using concentration?
Mind spike.
Oh, it's the damage you took. So, 5 plus the damage, or 10
On a con save.
Yeah,
DC
whichever's
10
higher.
is the lowest that
I
it'll ever be.
crit.
Okay.
Another one, or am I good?
How many different hits did you take? Oh, okay, yeah,
At
you
least 2.
okay, yeah, you took the fall damage as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So that'd be another one.
Hold, please.
Did you take 26 fall damage?
Something like that.
Yeah, he took a lot of fall damage.
If it was more than 26, then you would lose your concentration.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much it was, honestly.
There's a game log there for that.
Yeah, let's see.
It doesn't tell me how much damage the thing did.
I did.
Justin's does.
Yeah, it's the. Give me a second.
Oh, okay.
I had to do a manual roll for it. Where was that?
Right after the athletics check from Coco.
Right.
Also, let's see if I explode.
No, it was only 15 from the
Okay.
yeah, from the roll. So it still would have been a 20. So you would have failed in your second one. So your mind spike would be gone.
Yeah, and there's nothing I can do about that because yes, there is tides. That's not better. Okay, I tried.
I mean, better, but not. It didn't save. So okay. So yeah, your mind spike's gone. All right. So Garvin's now up. So you're
Okay,
underwater and you can't. Although unless you have Devil's Sight.
I don't.
Okay.
But what is its surface thoughts? Because I would still be hearing those.
First meal is started.
Okay, so somebody's in the belly of the creature.
That's right. Garvin hasn't seen that.
No, he hasn't. I was staring directly ahead. You said it was how far in front of me?
You dove off the backside, so how big is? I need to see the size. Of the...
I would have dove off the opposite side of whatever it was on.
Yeah, so the ship is 20 feet wide, so it was 15 feet away from that. So you're looking about 35 feet, 40 feet away, depending on how far you jumped off the boat.
Okay.
So you're right, probably at the edge of the darkness.
And okay. Garvin can breathe underwater currently. This isn't an issue. Now, question. Actually, not even a question at this point. Well, normal water is lightly obscured, correct? Is that would
correct?
Okay.
This is heavily
Garvin.
obscured.
Yeah. So it's not trying to leave if it's going for a second meal. I'm just checking the thing on oh, that's an action. I don't want to waste an action doing that. Okay, I'm gonna bonus action 30 feet directly in front of me. Misty step where I was. Well, like, can I Misty step it without a sight? Hold on, let me.
I think you have to see the location. I think
that you can see. Damn. Okay. Garvin's just gonna swim straight forward.
Okay. So
he was facing the direction.
So do you have the ring swimming as well? Okay. I couldn't remember which
so I can swim and I can breathe underwater. Okay. I was already underwater, so I saw it crash under. I had a point of orientation, so I would just swim the direction of point of orientation as it hit, like where I knew without moving, right?
Okay.
So Garvin's just going to try to blindly swim straight forward towards it, and if he collides with it, I'm going to cast Shocking Grasp and try to grab out at it.
Okay. So as you swim into the darkness, you know, since you can breathe, you notice something's not good about the water. Something is the ink is.
Okay, so as soon as Garvin can tell that, he's just going to start diving down to try to get beneath the ink. Then I guess.
Okay, it's a radius, so it's going to be 40 feet.
Yep. At that point, he's just going to try to like ride the edge of it and stay out of it and go underneath.
Okay.
He's trying to see if he can get any visual of the creature, whether it be tentacles, something, whatever.
With its, you can see. No, you wouldn't. You cannot see any of its tentacles right now. It is literally hiding within that cloud right now.
Okay. Then I want to use my wood elf capabilities to hide in lightly obscured terrain and stealth at this moment.
Okay.
As I don't see any way to. Well, hold on. Is there anything I can blindly do at a cloud here? Okay, electricity goes through water, correct? Things near me would take damage.
Yeah.
Can Garvin stab himself with his own dagger and proc a static discharge of electricity in the water?
I'll lot. That's
All right.
creative use of mechanics.
I will. Garvin will grab his dagger, stabbing himself, taking the damage from the dagger stab.
Okay.
So that's the D4 plus Dex. So I'll just roll a Dex in this case. Oh, wrong one. So 5 points of damage from that.
Okay.
And then I'm casting a 3rd level static discharge, which is going to create 4d10 of lightning damage in the water.
Okay.
Are you also gonna take that?
Hey, whatever at the moment. I don't know.
Okay.
We're dealing with it.
I
Yeah.
say with the amount of water, it's going to discharge a little bit, so it's going to be half of whatever you
Probably
roll.
split
It's
out,
probably
yeah.
split out.
That's, yeah, I figured it's probably not all going to me, but
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and roll that, and we'll just take whatever the half the value is.
And it is 17
Ooh.
points of lightning damage.
Okay. So half of that's 8. Okay. You don't hear a roar from it at all. But all the animals that are in the water are going to take 8 points of damage.
Cooking the meat for the Kraken.
So if any of them have less than 8 points of hit, they're gone. Otherwise, they're just going to take the 8 points of damage.
Okay.
Except the owl.
Except the owl.
So I didn't get to stealth.
Okay.
I did that instead.
That's fine. All right. Anything else?
I would still have. So I've used an action and a reaction. I would still have a potential bonus action at this point. No, that's it.
Okay. Murray.
Oh, I need to roll a con save for my detect thoughts.
Oh, yep. Ooh.
Detect thoughts goes.
Okay.
Murray breaks concentration on conjure animals so they all disappear, because at this point, he's drowning animals for no reason, even though he knows they're face spirits. Blah, 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 cruelty. Murray looks at the captain and says, "Don't worry about friendly fire, okay?" And then he casts Detect Magic, because Coco wears magic items, and jumps into the water. And swims down so he can detect magical items within 30 feet. And he's just going to start swimming into the ink
Can
cloud,
it
holding his
detect
breath.
through objects?
Ooh.
Detect magic? Let me get the detect magic. I can sense the presence of magic within 30 feet. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in that area. No, it's got to be visible. So, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe this creature is also magical too.
Says the spell can penetrate
most barriers, but it is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
Doesn't describe anything about flesh. Okay.
It doesn't say meat.
You can
So theoretically, that would be between, like,
Seems like a
wooden dirt
terrible
and,
oversight on the part
you
of the
know.
spell.
So, yeah, well, how often would you actually detect something that's inside of another being? Anyway,
I mean, I
Given
feel like
how
that's
many
common use for
creatures-
DMs to
Uh,
deal with player shenanigans, though, too.
true. All right, so you
I feel like a
see,
number of creatures use swallowing as a tactic in
you
D&D.
you see a faint color coming in this deep blackness that, but you it's hard to tell distance.
I know the
and-
direction. Yeah.
But as soon as you
Okay.
get into the water, you sense something's odd about the water itself.
Yep. Like
Okay.
Murray's not using his water breathing right now. He's holding his breath as long as he can. Because as a druid, he's turned into shit like this before. Like, well,
Okay.
do ink clouds, and that shit's just nasty.
But you're stopping in the cloud as you're trying to get to Coco.
Yeah, I'm in the cloud.
Okay.
I want to see what can I freaking do as a bonus action. Nothing. Hidden step. I mean, bonus action, turn invisible. Do I want to do that now? Yeah, and I'm gonna just turn invisible.
Okay.
Until the beginning of my next turn in the water.
All right. So I need you to make a
Alright.
Constitution saving throw.
I will do that. That's a 12.
Okay.
I'm assuming against a Kraken, that's not a lot.
Nope. You're just going to be taking 8 points of poison damage as
Ouch.
the ink is covering your skin and it's burning.
Okay.
Mm.
All right, so it's not now. Murray's learning, man. He's learning this isn't regular ink.
All right.
Okay.
The crew has lost sight, but they're going to try and fire into the blackness where they saw it go down. So this is with the ballista. That's a no. And then the mangonel is also a no. Okay, so they both miss. Sahiri. This thing is now hiding in the water in darkness.
There's nothing I can do about that particular issue. Other than use one of my channel divinities and curse it. Oh no, I can't see it, so I can't do that. So all right. I will cast spiritual weapon in the water
Okay.
about where it was.
Okay.
And hope for the best there.
Okay. Is that it?
I will hold Toll the Dead if a tentacle comes up, because then I can see the creature.
Fair. All right, Coco, you are inside. Any attacks you make are made with disadvantage because you're restrained. And you're blind because it's dark. You can't see anything.
Okay, but if I mean, is it very cavernous? I can't possibly be that.
No, it's not. It's not cavernous. You're literally kind of stuck inside,
Yeah,
but you can still get an attack.
exactly.
It's just you're gonna have a harder time
Yeah.
making the attack.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I'm blind doesn't actually make a difference.
Not when you're
I'm
also
already
restrained.
at disadvantage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just means you can't move. You're stuck in that spot.
That's fine. I have a flaming sword. Just going to stab it
And
until
hide a hit.
Yes. Although at disadvantage, still anyone's guess. All right, here we go. Oh wow! Wouldn't you know? I rolled exactly the same thing both times. Which is a 26.
Yes, you're gonna hit.
This Kraken's about to have some heartburn, man. This is gonna tickle.
Yes.
That's a word.
Unfortunately, you still do not get sneak attack because you had disadvantage on the roll.
I mean, none of the conditions are there for sneak attack, unfortunately. Alas, not letting me do what I do best. Stupid Kraken. Ooh. However, that is a really good roll. 13.
Now that you're
That's
inside it, Nick, can't see
22
you. Could you
points of
hide?
damage.
22 points of damage. Okay.
Coco's mad, apparently.
All right.
Understandably.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
There's, I do one thing very well, and that is stab. Also hide, but that is I do hiding things very well, but right now I'm kind of there's nowhere for me to hide. I'm literally inside it.
Okay. Adrin.
If there was something else in here with me, I could hide from it.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna regret this so much.
Oh no.
I'm gonna ready a dimension door to blip inside it as soon as I see it.
Adra, no. Adra,
Um,
no.
your tides goes off.
I haven't cast anything yet.
You have. Your
As
reaction.
soon as you cast and you readied it,
It's basically
Yeah.
sitting in your
you're
palm.
holding it in
casting.
your hand.
Your reaction just finishes it. So
Adra, no.
I need you to roll me a.
Unicorn.
A
D20
wild
first.
magic surge with the dimension door being held in hand. What a beautiful thing. Just saying.
Oh.
So start with a D20.
Ah, this is gonna be
Oh.
crazy. 10.
Okay, so not
Come
too
on,
bad. Then
man.
roll me a D100.
Just please not a potted plant. Oh my god, the potted plant teleports into the Kraken. That'd be hilarious.
4.
4.
Come on, baby. Something good.
That would be hilarious.
A friendly
Feathery
Aboleth
beard.
would be great.
Feathery
right now.
beard.
So as you go to then
Friendly
Aboleth.
as you go to prepare to cast, as you go to cast the spell, all of a sudden, as you move your hands, you notice you don't make any sound as you move.
Cool.
You take a step forward. You don't make any sound. Also,
Oh no.
you can't make any sound.
Oh, that's fine. I have subtle spell for that.
Just letting you know. All right.
Cast silence on yourself. That's
I'm
awesome.
also I'm gonna use my bonus action to burn a third level spell or third level slot to get sorcery points back because
Okay.
I need them desperately.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Start of each turn. All right, Coco.
Uh-oh.
Wow, that was a lot of ones. All right, you take 13 points of acid damage as you are inside the stomach.
A lot of ones is good because
I know.
yeah, I'm kind of about to die. That's okay. As I said, you guys will love my backup character.
No death to Coco.
It just feels a little sad that we're off to like go find Coco's background and she gets eaten by a
Coco can
kraken.
come back as any race if
All
we
right.
keep the body.
Murray, he's gonna swing a tentacle at you because he
Okay.
can see you
Yeah.
just fine.
Yeah, Murray's learning a lot about this asshole.
That's a 28 to hit.
Nah.
You take
got water
18
armor.
points of bludgeoning damage. You're now grappled and restrained.
Yeah. 18,
Um,
okay.
let's see. I'm gonna roll a d4 here.
Go up.
Coco's. All right, Sahiri. He's gonna take a swing at you as well. I random rolled.
But we're on the boat.
That would be his tentacle appearing, so he also needs to make
That's
a DC
fine.
17
You
wisdom
can-
save.
Okay, DC 17 wisdom save.
Just
Well, he's gonna hit
Blammo.
you, regardless, and he fails his wisdom save.
okie
Does-
dokie.
That was a plus
Does
7.
that
He
mean
failed.
that does that mean that by extension of seeing a tentacle reach up and try to hit Sahiri, I can posit how far away the body of this beast is so my dimension door can pop off?
Give
He's
me
gonna take
okay.
Garvin's the
10
math whiz, so
points.
this might not go super well, but
You said 11 points?
I'm sorry, 15 points. 15 points.
15 points of
10 plus 5
Okay.
of necrotic.
All right. So Dimension Door does not have the you must see, correct?
nope.
does not.
Anything I can
Alright.
describe or
Give me an Arcana check.
okay.
How much damage do I take from this jammer?
Right. You take 16 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are grappled and restrained.
Okay. Okie dokie.
18.
Okay. So you find yourself squished inside next to Coco. Inside the
Perfect.
you are now blind and restrained.
It's fine. When you say next to Coco, I assume that means like we're literally up against each other, right?
Yeah. Coco, you feel this body all of a sudden next to you. Inside.
Well, crap. Coco assumes someone else got swallowed. You-
Ooh.
You get like a feathery hand in your
Hold
face.
on.
Like, who's that?
This is gonna have another effect here. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Well, you guys are both spit out as it
Oh, that's much better
regurgitates
than what
you.
I thought was going to happen.
It couldn't hold two at once.
Not two medium creatures.
I'm okay with this.
This works. This works.
I'm very okay with not being in the
She can be
Kraken.
healed. That's all that
This
matters.
works so much better than I thought it would. I thought I was going to have to do that again and burn the sorcery points to settle it.
Nice.
All right, so that was it.
Go
Took us to attack actions, and it's going to. Garvin, you see it pop out of the bottom of the orb, and it's got Murray and Sahiri in its tentacles, and it's gone straight down 50 feet.
Okay. Is it
Murray's
my
got a grin
turn?
on his face.
I'm just letting you you see.
Okay.
It is not your turn yet.
Yeah, because I can't do anything right now. I've burned reactions and such. So
Well, actually, no. It is your turn because the captain and the crewmate can't do anything as of right now.
okay. It's 50 feet from me. So what I am going to do at this point is, how big, like rough dimensions of the creature does it look like?
It's
I have
huge. It's a huge creature. So
Okay, I want to create a giant 10-foot by 10-foot ball that appears to be heavy enough in its own mind to essentially hold the creature locked in place as if it was anchored by this heavy weight, as I'm going to attempt to cast Phantasmal Force on the Kraken, and I need it to make an intelligence saving throw.
okay. As you do this illusion, this thing, it doesn't seem like it had an effect on it. Like it seemed to have noticed that this was some sort of illusion.
Well, yeah, I'm just looking at the spell. Usually it has to detect it, so it's obviously doing something different. Because this is more like a mental phenomenon. This is inside of its
wait.
head.
Oh, is
This
it?
is yes. This is a mental
so it's-
phenomenon.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah. Here, I'll get you the spell's effect.
Oh, okay, it saved anyways. 26
Okay.
to save.
Yeah, it'll make the save. But yeah, it's essentially it's an illusion inside of its mind that
Gotcha.
like a mental thought that becomes real, right? That's the illusionary effect.
I got you.
So it's psychic, I guess, is the best way to put it. Okay, so Garvin sees that it has no effect. Starts swimming, and as he does, uses telepathy to speak to Adrin, who's above, hopefully within range. Is Adrin within 30 feet of me as I start to swim?
Oh, hold on. I forgot one thing. You guys were spit out. You guys were finished. Is it the? Oh no, that wasn't the end of your turn. Yeah, they're spit out above, but they're actually in the inky water up above.
So Adrin would be within 30 feet of me for telepathy's sake.
No.
If I was underwater.
If you were underwater from where you were outside of the bubble, no, because he was spit up
Okay.
straight out, and it's a 40-foot radius of that
Okay.
orb.
And I was already kind of down a little bit anyways because I'd gone down towards the bottom of the bubble.
Correct.
Okay. Then I would already know that I'm below 30 feet. Garvin's just saying to Murray, "It's trying to drag you under. I'm coming with." And I'm swimming after at this point, and I'm just telling Murray that I'm there too, so he knows.
Okay.
Murray's still got a grin on his face as he's being dragged down. Just big fucking smile.
And you're up.
I'm just swimming after. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I make eye contact with this little shit. Oh, sorry.
That's it.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
up.
good.
And I'm going to turn into a giant octopus. Bloop. Who has who?
I've seen enough anime to know where this is going.
Tentacle fight, man. Octopods, man.
Kaiju fight. Come on.
Octopuses, dude. Octopuses, man. They can fit through tiny, tiny little spaces, and they got a hell of a grapple. It's just I'm not a Circle of the Moon druid, so. Anyway, so that's my turn.
Okay.
So I can breathe now. That's fine. I could breathe before anyway.
Yeah, you
but
could.
Yeah, I'm just like, woo! Hit point pool.
All right. Sahiri.
So I'm restrained, correct?
Which it means you can't move unless you break out of it, but you can still cast a spell. If you do a melee attack, or any type of spell attack or range attack or any attack, it's at disadvantage. But aside from
Okay.
that, you can still do everything else.
Fine. That's fine. It has life force. I have life force. I am going to vampiric touch it.
Okay.
Ooh.
You touch your shadow wreathed hand. The toucher can siphon life force from others to heal your wounds. So I have to make a spell attack upon it.
Correct.
Does a 17 hit?
A 17 hits.
Kraken.
It hits.
Okay, and I forgot to tell you I'm doing it at 4th level.
It's fine.
That was where I was. That kind of sucked, but so it's going to take 11 points of damage, and I'm going to get 11 back.
Okay.
And the spell lasts as long as I'm concentrating, and I can do it again. As long as I don't lose concentration for up to a minute.
Oh yeah, you can do the damage directly again without having to do another hit. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Coco. You find yourself above the water, but you're in this like ink cloud in the water.
I have your wrist.
Okay. The ink is not doing anything to us.
Not at the moment.
I don't know anything about the ink because I was busy being swallowed by a kraken when that happened, I think. Either way, we should not be in the water. It's yeah. Oh, God. Coco with her
You can see the
weenie-
boat is 15 feet away.
Coco and her weenie
then
weenie
10
little
feet up.
strength. Coco is
Just smack my hand. I'll let go.
no, that's the opposite of what she wants.
Oh.
Coco's going to try and get both her and Adrin to the boat.
Okay, so it'll take half of your movement speed to drag somebody with you, basically.
That's fine.
Okay.
I have 40 feet of movement. Boat's 15 feet away.
Okay.
I don't know if you need me to make a strength check of any
If
kind.
you're trying to put him like on your shoulders to crawl up the rope ladder to get back up on the ship,
I don't need the
yes.
rope ladder. I can fly up.
If you're gonna try and hold on, then yes, I'll need an athletics check.
No,
Can
I can't.
assist?
Coco definitely cannot do like one-handed anything.
No, because this is her
holding
raw
up.
strength to being able to lift you out of the water.
I'm
Okay,
also
let's hope I
gonna-
roll better than 2 this time. It's not dignified, but she's gonna try. Oh, that's better. 12.
Okay, with a 12, you're able to at least get him out of the water, and you guys are now on the right. Oh, excuse me, right on the edge of the deck. Anything else?
Well, that was action, movement. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Coco's gonna find somewhere to hide.
Okay.
Meld into like a coil of rope or something.
I mean, it can't see you right now, so yeah, you can feel free to try and roll a hide check.
And if it, comes if it comes extends a tentacle out of the water in my vicinity, I will stab it.
Okay.
In the next round, obviously.
Yep.
Oh, that was an abysmal stealth check.
All right. Adrin.
I'm still silenced, right?
Yes, you are. That is a full minute.
So like I go to make a wisecrack about Coco
Nothing comes out, but
carrying
as
me,
I said,
and I'm like,
you are literally, your footsteps make no sound. You trying to brush the water. None of that makes any sound off whatsoever.
That's
Okay.
inconvenient.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna pull out one of my potions of healing and just chug it.
Okay.
Cause ow.
Okay.
6 plus 2, 8. And then I'm gonna make another bad decision. I'm gonna just do that at the captain, and then I'm going to subtle dimension door 200 feet straight down.
200 feet straight down?
Let's go 100.
Okay.
Screw it. 200 would probably kill me with pressure.
All right.
That's a lot of water pressure.
Yeah. Nah, I
Water
would
pressure in
probably
D&D.
just flat out die.
But I mean, yeah, you can breathe, so it's not that bad. It's the air in your lungs that's going to cause the
Yeah,
problems.
All right. So, you at least have dark vision, but it's obscured. You don't see, as of right now, you don't see anything.
Okay.
But I also need you to roll me a d20.
Okay. Hold please. I have to spend the points for that thing. I'm just gonna roll it on here. I have one that I would be rolling, but 13.
Okay, you're good. All right. So the Kraken moves another 10 feet down. So it's now 60 feet below the water.
How far is it from me if I was chasing after?
So you can move, what, 30 feet?
Yeah, I moved 30 feet and I'd been already down lower when I went after.
So you're only 20 feet behind it.
Okay.
Roughly. So it turns at you and it flings Murray.
Murray's currently a
A
giant
giant octopus.
squid.
A giant octopus. So you
Yeah,
see
a
this
giant octopus,
large
yeah.
creature with tentacles come flying at you.
Well, floating quickly.
I'm a hug monster.
So you need to give me a dexterity saving throw to see if you can dodge out of the way of them.
Okay.
Okay.
19.
So you dodge out of the way, and then you see this. You see as an octopus goes floundering away, and he ends up about 20 feet behind you. But you don't. Nobody takes any damage from that. But he is going to try and take a bite out of Sahiri. Oh, I think that might miss. That's a 20 to hit.
You were looking for a 21.
Aha! All right. So he tries to bite you, but he cannot bite into your enchanted armor.
Solid investment.
So instead, he turns and he flings you back at Garvin again. So Garvin, you just make another dex save.
Garvin's gonna try and catch her.
Okay. So give me an athletics check on that.
Is any of this damage going to be lessened by the
Yeah.
water slowing them
A
down?
5.
Okay, good.
So
Maybe
hold
not.
on, I would have disadvantage because of exhaustion. Hold on,
Oh,
let
you
me
just
let
took
me
it.
roll again just in case.
Took a
yeah,
heavily
5.
armored cleric to the face.
okay, so she slams into you, but you both get pushed back the distance. It's not going to be the full damage though from that fling. So, so you both take 8 points of damage. All right, Garvin, you're up.
Okay, Garvin's throwing a lot of stuff at it, and it's not working so well. So at this point, you know what? I can see this thing fine underwater. I can breathe underwater. I can swim. So I am going to fling that's the wrong button. I'm going to throw a chromatic orb
You want to throw
at
that?
it. Does a chromatic orb with a 16 hit?
That hits.
Okay. So a warbling ball of acid shoots out through the water and slams into the creature for 23 points of damage.
Okay. And with that, its body goes limp as it starts floating under the water.
Yay.
As you have
Murray
felled
chases it.
the mighty beast.
I'm at that point telepathy. Murray, make sure the body doesn't sink. And I'm trying to swim after it. How
Okay.
heavy does the body look?
It's
Murray
huge
octopus
and
warbles in a.
Yep.
but
yes,
underwater it's not going to be like terrible to potentially lift up, especially with an octopus there.
So question.
Yeah, a giant
How heavy
octopus.
is a giant octopus? Is it under 500 pounds?
It's giant octopus. It is a large creature. That's all I got. I mean,
Large would be probably more than 500 pounds.
Okay,
I'm a
Garvin's
big-
just gonna swim with Murray, cast levitate on himself, and use himself like a balloon right beside Murray, bringing this thing up.
there you go.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
This
gonna
is spell
grapple with,
component.
like-
This is spell component. Like he's excited about this. This stuff's valuable. Whatever it is, it's valuable in some form or fashion. It's Kraken body.
All right. And Ajin, you couldn't really see too much of this. Actually, you saw the Kraken start to go down. You saw something flash in the water and it go limp, and you see it starting to go up. You couldn't quite make out Murray and Garvin grabbing him up. So you're kind of further down below them as this Kraken is being hauled up.
It looks alive.
Yeah, you see moving tentacles.
Crap. So
That's
how far
fair.
is it from me right now?
40 feet.
Awesome. I am. I mean, at this point, I would probably hit it with a second level chromatic orb as well.
Okay.
Gotta make sure.
So go ahead and give me an
I mean,
attack roll.
I don't know that it's dead. 22.
Okay. Yeah, as long as you didn't miss, because then that would have been a whole different story.
That would have sucked.
What type of damage were you doing with that?
I mean, Adrian would do lightning damage right now.
Okay. Give me your
'Cause
damage.
We're underwater.
Just give me your
and I
damage.
think that it's trying to kill my friends.
Just give me the roll your damage.
Or is cool. No
8. Not much.
Wow. Okay.
Oh,
Well, I guess it
man.
was
Oh,
it was only first level. Okay.
Second.
Second level. Oh wow, 48. You
OP
get. Oh
damage,
man, that is some.
2 of them were ones.
All right. Well, that's good because both Garvin
Ouch.
and Murray both take 4 points of lightning damage as the spread hits from the
So-
creature.
Garvin probably would in response just actually just use a reaction as some sort of blast hits him to cast absorb elements, not knowing it's like gonna be just a tickle.
Okay.
We're underwater and he thought he just felled a beast, so
Yep. You saw this lightning damage shoot out from below you, and
I would take 2.
Murray's got the same amount of hit points as an octopus as he does as Murray, so I'm cool, man. I'm cool. I love the HP tractor on the wild shapes, man. It's so
So-
handy.
yeah, you guys are floating back up. Adrian, you see it kind of move out of your visual range. The Coco and Sahiri, you guys see the ink starting to slowly dissipate.
That's
through the
good.
water.
I've not been in contact with Adrin, so I'm just continuing on with Murray. I don't know what this is firing at me. I'm just trying to get the beast out of the water and back to the ship.
Yep.
I got Sahiri
Um,
free, which was Garvin's main goal.
Murray's swim speed is 60 feet, probably 30 feet, dragging a giant freaking kraken baby. So yeah, we're about the same speed, I think, swimming at this point.
I think I'm gonna dash to try to catch up to this thing.
As you kind of catch closer, you see. Give me a perception check, actually.
Oh, I'm good at these. Except today. 14.
At disadvantage, sorry.
Okay.
That may still be your better roll anyway, or your worst roll anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
Yeah.
was.
So,
I have a +8.
Yeah. So as you kind of dash further, so you're able to swim faster up. You notice that it's not moving on its own. So normally the tentacles are behind it, but it looks like it's kind of limp. You see it's some of the tentacles down, but you see another set of tentacles, and then a shadowy figure you can't quite make out, kind of on the other side of it, and it looks like they're pulling it up.
Just keep swimming.
All right. So eventually you guys are going to get up and you'll if you're continuing to dash, you'll eventually catch up and you'll notice you see Adrian and a giant octopus dragging the creature back up towards the surface.
In my brain, it's just, oh, and then I dimension door back onto the deck. Start drying myself off.
Okay.
I'm not strong. I'm not helping.
So,
So like, when we get close to the boat, Murray's gonna use half his legs to hold the kraken, half his legs to suck her to the side of the boat, just to keep the kraken anchored to the boat at least. So he's kind of like, okay, let's keep this thing before it sinks. 'cause
So
it's gonna fill with water.
it
soon.
takes about a minute or so for you guys to get kind of maneuver through all this stuff. So, Adrian,
And Garvin
you're finally making noise again.
Garvin had rope wrapped around his waist as a belt. He's probably used or untied this to help try to secure the creature as we're pushing it up onto the deck too.
Okay.
Like bundle it in a way that the crew can help us get it up easier.
So you see a number of the crewmates are cheering as the creature comes up. You see the crewmates with those hooks have now attached them to ropes and are pulling them down and to hook the thing to pull it back up onto the onto the deck.
So I'm probably just making like little loops with my rope on like different tentacles to make it easier for them as we're coming up.
Yep. So
Yeah.
and Captain Lake says,
Murray's the
"Oh,
anchor.
you crazy crazy. I don't even know what to do with you all. Going after such a thing. This was no standard beastie, you know.
Dude, it ate my friend.
I mean, what else was I supposed to do?
Fair point. It was attacking the ship. I do thank you for saving the ship. But this was no ordinary sea creature. This were a titan of the sea. This was a young a young kraken. They're of great myth, and they get much bigger and uglier.
Murray does a spit take as an octopus, so out of the siphons, just like at Kraken. And then he just kind of like slinks his way up on deck, turns back into Murray. Kraken! Ah, jeez.
Let's
hell?
hope we haven't angered a parent somewhere along the lines.
I'm just gonna kind of look back and forth,
Okay.
and then turn around to the whole crew and just go, "Well, lads, tonight we're having calamari."
Captain Legs,
Yes, laddie.
are you able to harvest its heart? Keep it intact for me?
I mean, of course. Have you seen what we've been able to do with sharks?
Yes.
Garvin gives a bit of a nod. I'll be by later to make sure it's preserved.
I want to help.
If any of y'all have any of that icy magic stuff that you do, we might be able to preserve it for longer than you need.
Oh,
Quite a bit.
Murray's just going to hit it with Gentle Repose.
Or that.
Aye,
There you go.
that'll do. All right, and with that, I think we're going to take our break for the night. So we will be. I think this is a good spot, anyways, as the party has just survived the battle with a juvenile kraken and lived to tell the tale. All of them lived to tell the tale, although it was close. So
I'm very uncomfortably close there.
Yeah, I was not gonna let you kill Coco that easy.
all
I have
right,
a plan for this Kraken heart.
I
Dude.
still have 13 hit points. I don't know what you're talking about. It's fine.
Sahiri.
I can't hear you.
Your mic's not picking you up, Karen.
Is it picking me up now?
Yes.
Wait not. Okay. As long as I was in 30 feet of Coco, I could spare the dying her.
She never went down, so
Because it doesn't say you
No.
have to see it.
Yeah, I didn't go.
Ooh.
I didn't go down. But you wouldn't have known necessarily because I was inside a kraken.
Oh, she would have known. Because as soon as you went limp, I was gonna dimension door us back on deck.
Oh,
I
yeah,
knew what he was
fair.
planning, but yeah, I can't hold too many creatures. But anyway,
It's okay. I still have 13 hit points. We're fine.
all right.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll be back in about 5 to 10
The
minutes, guys.
overlay isn't updating, but whatever.
Hang tight. We'll
Oh,
be right back. welcome back, everybody. Hey, look, my mic stuff worked all right this time. Yay! All right.
Huzzah!
Anyway, the party has successfully vanquished a juvenile kraken, which was no small feat, as these titans of the deep are known for their ferocity, intelligence, and exceed capabilities, especially potentially taking down the ship, which it never had a chance to. Let's switch up this music here.
That's good.
Is this the right
This
one?
ship is important to organization business. Doesn't matter who's the captain.
So again, the party has managed to vanquish the Kraken. They have the body up on the deck. Garvin has asked Captain Legs and his crew to essentially carve out the heart. They cut it down into pieces, remove the heart, and then take the rest of the parts that were salvageable for, well, dinner. Down into the galley for Cookie to prepare tonight's meal. As
Both the eyes were like torn apart, weren't they?
they were pretty beaten up badly, but not enough to where it was like they're not like popped or severed or anything like that, but they're definitely damaged.
I think Garmin would probably try and preserve some Kraken Eye for spell component's sake, as well.
Okay. But-
Figure we kind of oversee this and sort of say, I would like to keep that.
Yeah,
piece
you can
and
keep what
that
parts you guys
piece
want,
and-
but they're gonna take the
Yeah.
the muscly bits for meat and make some Kraken calamari and
How big is the beak on this thing? Is it like bowling balls, like basketball size?
a huge creature. Yeah, probably.
I would like that.
Dibs on the beak.
Oh. I was gonna hang it in
You
the
can
bar.
have
What are
half.
you gonna do?
What?
I was gonna hang
I
it
was
in
gonna
the
make a
bar.
hat.
Oh. No, you can have it then. I like that.
Okay.
It's a good
I can
look.
make 2 hats though. Top
No,
beak,
that's
bottom
okay.
beak. Gang, gang. Okay. Sweet. So I'll take the 2 halves of like the chitin and I'll like put it in my bag of holding. Yeah, I'm gonna make a hat. Well, 2 hats. Or shoes.
Kraken clogs.
Oh wait, what's her name? What's her name from the dead place? The gnome that's apparently like in love with me
Bunny.
now. You think she'd like him?
Well,
I
I'm
don't
sure
know,
she
she's
would.
Your girlfriend.
I'll make her a Kraken hat. It'll be a Kraken hat. Come on. No, nobody. Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna go lie down. I'm tired.
Yeah.
The seas are calm.
I need a bath.
The trip seems settled. It's only about midday at this point, as the battle was just after breakfast.
Garvin's gonna climb up to the crow's nest and make his way up to the top to just kind of hang out and catch some sea air and short rest up there.
Okay.
He's like feeling strangely energetic after the fight, even though he's like kind of torn up and hurt. He just this was invigorating.
You swam for the first time.
Yeah, he feels alive. I don't know. Maybe like a brisk with death or a brush with death is like, I don't know. It's the first time he's felt
Oh.
that.
Gods.
Yeah, there's this like this whole like everything's new.
Now we're a budding adrenaline junkie. This'll be fun. I say budding, but we've both already been that the whole time.
The rest of the day it's uneventful. You pass by off to the port side. You guys can see Baldur's Gate as you finally pass through that, as you had seen that in the distance the night before. Eventually you pass from the distance, you can see Candlekeep.
I can see my house from here.
as we're going past, I'm assuming we're just sort of like sitting on deck at this point, and I just get this sudden look of shock. And Garvin, did you tell Mum? Can you tell Mum?
I mean, I'm sure I can. Didn't you get a sending stone?
Oh, I did. You're right. I wonder if it's arrived yet.
Try it.
Hello, Mum.
Adrian, is that you?
She sounds sick. It is. Hi. I hope you like your sending stone. It's so that you can call and yell at me for not talking to you enough. I'm kidding. We're actually on our way past, and
That's more than 20 words. You know that's going to cut off when you're talking, right?
I do now.
What was that? I didn't quite catch the end of that.
We love you.
Tell your mom I say hi.
Murray says hi.
Hello to everyone as well, and know I love you too as well. Try to stay out of trouble.
We are. Badly.
Tell her we just killed a baby kraken.
No, I'm not going to tell her that.
Why not?
She can read about it.
Does she want a Kraken hat?
I'm
That'd be
just going to give
awesome,
Murray
Murray.
the stone. I don't want to be
Oh,
involved in this
hey, Mom.
anymore.
We killed a baby Kraken. Everything's great. Would you like half of its beak for a hat?
You did what now?
Oh, baby Kraken. It tried to eat us, but it's okay. Everybody's safe.
And
Nobody's
you
hurt.
can almost hear the eye roll.
Oh, I can
Oh,
feel
dude.
it in my
My
soul.
insight is super high. Trust me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. We're like, ooh. We're on an adventure. Surprising, I know.
No, but seriously, would you like half the beak? You can have one. It's a present.
I don't quite know what I would do with such a thing. But
Oh, okay. The ship on the horizon is us. Hi.
okay. If I can get the moment to look outside, I will check, but I'm unfortunately busy with work at the moment.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Here, I'll pass it back to Adrian.
Hi.
Your mom's not
I-
happy.
No, go figure.
I offered her a hat, but
Next time I ask
I
you
heard.
if not to get into trouble, and you tell me that you try not to, just tell me the truth next time.
Oh, we are trying not to. We're just not doing very well.
You know what I mean, Andrew.
I do. I'm sorry. We did okay. Nobody died. Nobody even got knocked out.
Just remember,
self-defense.
luck only happens, it only stays with you for so long. Watch over your friends.
I really want to argue with her, but she's so right. Okay. Well, I'm glad you got the sending stone. Love you.
Stay safe, my boys.
We'll do our best.
Do better.
We'll do your best.
So
I'm glad you're the one that has to carry it, not me.
Yeah,
Garvin
I'm
gets
super...
this cheeky grin, like
I put it away, and I'm like, I don't know what possessed me to call Mum.
Or give it to me. I mean, come on.
That was a bigger mistake. That was my
Not
biggest
really.
mistake all day, and I teleported inside of a fucking Kraken today.
I mean, hey, I didn't tell her that part. I didn't see that. What?
So as you guys are kind of
Yes.
talking, you see the ship kind of, it's moving a little bit further away from the from the shore, and you see it kind of making a little bit more of a southwesterly direction.
It swallowed. to try to get Coco out, and then it. bleh.
Oh, I was hoping like the octopus thing. I thought it was too big for it to eat. I saw it spit you out. I thought it was swallowed. Wow, your mom is right to worry.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, just be honest with your mom. You know, don't hide anything. She worries. And here's the thing, right? I'm pretty good at telling bullshit. And here's the thing, right? A parent can tell bullshit from a mile away, or at least, well, we're like, what, 2 miles from Candlekeep? Dude, your mom could smell it. Don't lie to her.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna lie to her. I was just gonna say we are staying out of trouble badly, and then kind of.
Well, I
leave
mean,
it
you
at
could have
that.
just said it was self-defense. We got attacked, you know, but we're okay, you know. She's gonna worry anyway. Who cares? Whatever. You do you.
Moms do. Oh, I'm gonna regret buying this fucking stone. Well, at
Yep.
least we're headed to Samarak.
Oh, come on, it'll be fun. We get to learn about Coco's past or family.
Oh yeah,
Coco,
no,
what do you know?
That part is super exciting.
Oh God. Okay, well, I'm not gonna write it all out on the whiteboard because we'll be here for 5 hours.
Well, if she's writing her
Yeah,
dissertation,
we're traveling for
okay,
a
here we
long
go.
time, right? So
Sorry.
I said
I didn't
we'll
get-
be traveling for a long time, so there's probably plenty of ways to like suggest that we've had time to talk about it, or
Yeah.
actually you describe it.
Yeah, you can just openly talk about it, and we'll just pass through saying that it's you've been writing it on your stone and having the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. We're just gonna narrate a little bit because there's a lot to write down on this poor beleaguered whiteboard. Essentially, the reason she wants to find Right Hand Rule, who's a merchant, a tabaxi merchant, is that her egg was he is it a he? Yes.
No, yeah, it's
Uh,
a he. Yeah.
Yeah. So he found it while scavenging a another merchant vessel that belonged to our pal Wakango Otamu. Uh, and uh, and once he salvaged the egg, looted the egg, stole the egg, I don't know what verb to qualify that. Um, he then sold it, but the vessel itself was called, where is it? Uptao's Way, and it's owned by Wakango Otamu. And yeah, that vessel was coming before it was lost. It was coming back from an expedition to the Lost Kingdom of Samarak. Yeah.
What's a tabaxi?
It's
Cat
a
person.
bipedal cat person.
They're friendly, mostly.
Wait. There's
Yeah.
cat people?
Dude. Yeah.
Oh, shrugs and like points at herself like bird people, cat people. Sure, why not?
They.
Hey, look, I mean, but I'm just saying. Oh man, this place. Oh god, this is a big world. Oh, this is so cool. I want to make a friend.
I've only read about them, but they take like 6 naps a day. It sounds like the most relaxed culture in the world. I'm super excited.
I'm a little more concerned with the fact that Coco's technically the stolen wares of the man that we're supposed to go meet as a contact.
Oh no. If he tries to do any of that shit, if he tries to say, "Oh no, I own your friend," you just let me do the talking.
I mean, is there a chance he would know what type of egg she was?
Yes, we can ask him for information that he knows, but he doesn't own.
Oh shoot, the thing is
Your
blurring.
background
The background is
blur
blurring it. Dang it. Okay, let me see if I can fix
Oh
that.
yeah, the new Discord backgrounds.
I thought I would spare people the hardware in my background, but I'm screwing up my character. So you guys are just gonna have to put up with it. And if I can figure out how to.
You can probably make it a little less blurry, and it would be okay.
Yeah. Well, it's either blur or not.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
There we
The
go.
backgrounds. It's the built-ins.
Huzzah!
There we go. All right, let's try this again. Yay!
Not a pet. No, I know, Coco. You are a
I know.
fully independent person, and if anyone tries to claim ownership, we're going to deal with them either verbally or with great amounts of violence.
I'm
Great
just,
amounts of
I'm concerned maybe this Tabaxi fella took you from somebody who thought you might have been their pet, even though you definitely are not.
violence. Exactly.
And if anybody tries to say you're a pet, you'll
That's what I'm
six
talking
Sahiri
about.
on them.
I mean,
Either
I'm
we
sure
will-
she's got daggers.
Oh yeah, no.
Coco flicks out her daggers, puts them back. Also, technically, it was. We were 3 years in the Feywild, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, so that would make it. Even though we haven't aged, that would make it 17 years ago. So,
Wow.
because
I'm sure
Egg.
he doesn't
Egg.
remember. No.
Dude, if you lose an egg that's big enough to hatch a Coco, I feel like maybe you remember that.
I mean, but maybe he never saw it hatch. How does he even know it's a
I mean,
Coco?
it doesn't. Well, it doesn't really. I mean, it matters, but at the same time, it doesn't. You know, we'll deal with that when we get there. If he tries to say that he owns a person, we will either verbally remind him that this is a person and you do not own her, or we will let Coco commit great acts of violence on him while I use a fucking sand hand to hold him in place.
Maybe he thought it was a dinosaur egg.
The boat was lost. We may not even meet him. What the fuck? Did you say dinosaurs?
I mean, I'm just spitballing. We got a long way to go.
There are dinosaurs in
Whoa,
Jolt.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah. I'm so excited to meet new animals.
And a lot of undead.
That part sucks. But dinosaurs? Dude, this is going to be really cool. This is the coolest vacation I've ever been on. And it's a work vacation.
Hey, here's a question. There's a philosophical question. So there's cat people, right? Actually, Coco, let me ask you this. Okay, how would you feel if, let's say, there was a non-intelligent, non-sapient bird that kind of looked like you, but someone cast Awakened on it and it could actually speak? Do you feel like that would be insulting to you as an individual that someone has like a talking bird when you can't technically, no offense, talk? How do you feel about that? Because there's cat people and there's a cat that I really want to talk to. I just think it'd be neat to have a talking cat
through a window, but I'm fascinated.
I mean, it's all academic, right? It's all academic. That's all. I'm just
No, I
just spitballing, right? Because I need to know boundaries, right? Tabaxi can talk. No. Oh yeah, no. Oh, okay. That's cool. Good to know. But no, I mean the little mouse catcher down in the decks that we found, that I found. Like I kind of, I point at the staff, tap tap. Oh hey, I'm a cat now. How you doing, eh? I can make things that can't talk, but also it's a burden of sentience, right? Because if you're not ready for it and you can't process it, it's kind of jarring, I guess. Like that
Have
tree.
you met a cat? You have to imagine they're ready for sentience. You have to imagine they're basically ready for godhood.
Yeah, they're snooty as shit. I mean, I've actually talked to one, but like as a cat. But I mean, these things become like intelligent, like us. Can you imagine? Can you imagine
Yes.
not knowing anything, then all of a sudden you're awake like a tree? Like I don't. Oh, I hope your tree doesn't hate me. What
Probably
if your
not.
tree hates me? Ask the cat for. Oh, that's true.
But how do you communicate the idea of sentience and higher thought and meaning to an animal that doesn't understand something that complex? It's a
I mean, I'm
whole
pretty sure when
it's
you
a
were
rabbit
making it,
hole.
it instantly understands it anyways, even though it doesn't understand it.
Like, for example, okay, there's this delicacy back home, right? Well, for us, it's a delicacy, right? It's called poutine, right? Well, technically, in our tongue, poutine, but accent, whatever. Now, if I said, hey, Coco, would you like a poutine? Like, you don't know what you're getting into, right? You're like, oh, hey, what the hell is that, eh? So it's like sentience with a cat.
Yeah, but like poutine is really good, and sentience, on the whole, kind of shit.
Sorry. Wow. I just had a funny thought. I was playing poker with the cat, and the cat got a royal flush, and that was kind of scary. Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, consequences, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
the
something to
cat.
think about. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I could keep talking to the cat, but as a cat, I think it's best to talk to the cat as a cat until I actually meet a talking cat to see if it's cool. And then I just want to make some friends. I just want,
We can do that.
I want to meet a talking cat that
We can
isn't
do
an
that.
asshole. Are
We can do
tabaxi
that.
assholes? Or are they like us, where there's some assholes and some cool ones? Because all cats are assholes.
Probably like that. And no,
I've spoken to cats. When they're purring, they're basically saying, you worship me enough, I grant you my blessings, please rub my belly. Didn't know that, did you? They hate everybody. They see us all as servants.
I kind of.
They see us as servants and perches.
Aren't we?
Sorry
Though?
about that.
You're back.
Computer decided no and just shut down. Okay then.
Murray, sorry, I wasn't really listening. You're going on about cats and talking in Awakening. You've been talking about it for 30 minutes.
Yeah, but that 30 minutes really flew by, huh?
Yeah, it did. I'm
No.
kind of hungry. What's for dinner?
And almost
good
the
point.
second you say what's for dinner, you hear the bell ring.
I'll give you one guess, kid.
I bet it's Kraken.
I bet it's Kraken, yeah.
So you guys head down to the galley. You see all the crew really almost there ahead of you. Like last time you guys were the first ones down there and you let them all go, but this time they're all crowding around. Kind of there's almost some pushing around to try and get in as the smell is wafting up from the galley.
I mean, it must be good.
I mean,
I assume so.
I've never eaten sea monster. This would be great.
You hear Cookie coming from the kitchen. Hold your horses, there's enough for everybody. Just stand still.
I believe that's my cue. And I go back there and help him bring things out, at least.
So you go help, and you see there's there are literally giant rings of calamari that are about that big around. There are you see like braised kraken steaks, and there's just you find that Cookie is an amazing cook, and how he ended up on a ship you have no idea. But either way, you get everybody starts coming in. They're taking all their meals and sitting down at their tables, and just silence. The only thing you can hear is the sound of people eating. There's no conversation. There's no. Everybody is just devouring their food. Cookie looks over here, looks back at the crew, and is like, guess they like it.
I want to walk back over and put a notebook down in front of him and a small pouch. So this ship technically works for me. You technically work for me. I have a new job to add to your list. You're going to write down every recipe that you do for the rest of this trip, at least.
What?
Don't worry, there's something in it for you.
What's a recipe?
Oh, you're just going to write down everything that you do when you make your food. Like
I don't know.
how much of what ingredient, or it can be nondescript. I'll figure it out, but just jot it down.
I just put down whatever comes to my head as I'm cooking the food.
Okay. When it comes to your head, do it, then write it down.
Fine.
Cookie literate.
Alternatively, if it works better for you, I can, for the rest of the trip, lend you the pen that writes for itself, and all you have to do is say what you're doing. Does that work? Is that better?
That's all right. Fine, if you're paying the bills.
I am paying the bills, and then I just jingle the bag a little bit.
You see him take it and just go fold the apron back over.
And just walk back. I put the self-writing pen on the. I can finish the rest of this chapter by hand. It's fine. Just put that in the corner of his kitchen. Go back to the gang.
Okay, so you guys sit down, you eat, you bite into the food, and it's nothing like you've ever tasted.
This is really good. Like really
Wildly
good.
So.
It's
Yeah,
super
and I think I
tender.
may hire him.
The flavor just comes right off of it. It absorbs whatever flavor seems to be dressed with the food, that specific meal, that dish. And it just expands the flavor.
Cookie, you're freaking magic.
Yeah, that's what my mom always said.
Oh, that's adorable.
When did you start cooking, Cookie?
I don't know, I just kind of started throwing stuff together when I was a kid.
Was it always this good?
It always was to me.
Sir, you are a natural. Consider us very impressed.
Well, as long as you enjoy. So you guys finish. It's getting to be late evening. Again, the ship's quiet. Everything's kind of gone. All the crew members kind of move back into their stations. Those that are working into the evening to keep things moving. Others move to bunks to rest for the rest of the night to start their early morning shifts.
Garvin wants to take his bedroll out to the top of the deck, and he's gonna find like a nice place where he thinks that it's not too breezy. Can kind of lay out and just lay on it himself and stare up at the stars as the boat sails through the night sky.
Okay. So as you move, the looking up, it's funny because as many as the stars there are, they just don't seem to move. No matter how fast the ship is moving, they just kind of seem to be kind of in place. Eventually, after hours of sitting there and waiting, you kind of see some slight changes in the movement as the moon comes up and is slowly moving across the sky. But just sitting there casually, just staring up, it looks just like you're sitting there bouncing on the sea.
Garvin, after he's felt most of the thoughts kind of drift from his mind, sits and just starts to chant the same prayers Sahiri chants to see if, like, while looking at the stars, he can connect or reach things or talk to things like she does. Like he's curious. He's just gone through this experience and now he's wondering if it's left like a mark, I guess. And he's gonna pull out the holy symbol and go through some of this. He knows we're on our way to Samarak. There's a lot going on. He's the fact that Kraken attacked us is like we're dealing with large forces. It feels odd, and I think he's probably starting to question destiny in a bigger picture within the world at this point himself, and is turning to something he's unsure of, and that's faith.
So he sits there and he's watching the stars. He's got a hold of the holy symbol. He doesn't hear anything. There's no response, no nothing nothing coming to his head, no thoughts or feelings or anything like that from any other power other than himself. But you do feel the symbol has grown a little warmer.
Huh. And Garvin just kind of like, all right, interesting. This is the conduit. And he just kind of like probably just thinks to himself like the symbol's the connection at this point, and has learned at least a little something about how all of that works. He doesn't understand it, but I don't think he really like pushes to ask a question or anything. I'm betting it's probably like closer to like sunrise at this point, as that's kind of coming up. He's spent most of the night short resting, like laying on the deck, just breathing in the sea air, enjoying the experience.
Okay. Was anybody else doing anything through the night, or is everybody kind of just? It was a long day.
Finish
Need
the
sleep.
chapter, go to bed.
Like, Murray's gonna move his bunk to the top because he's starting to feel a little claustrophobic. He's so used to having the wide world to expand, to wander, and now he's trapped on a boat. He'll completely avoid Garvin, just find it on his own quiet corner somewhere and just let everybody be.
Okay.
With my kitty cat. I'll have a conversation with him. Just menial stuff. Yes, you are a good kitty. Yes, you are. You catch all the mice.
So the night goes on. Nothing else seemed to happen. Garvin has said you felt the symbol grow warm, but the sun comes up and the crew start changing their shifts in the early morning. Breakfast bell rings. Cookies made. More Kraken meals, of course.
Kraken bacon.
Kraken bacon, exactly. Some,
Kraken.
some Kraken scrapple.
Ooh,
Some
crapple.
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 Crackle.
Wonderful.
It's crackle.
Ooh, crackle.
Crackle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh
that'd be
my
crackle.
god, Kraken crackling? Oh my god, that'd be so good. Maybe? I don't know.
Adrian takes his breakfast back to the cabin
Yep.
that he's been holed up in.
Yep. Murray's in the galley, just sitting in a corner, quietly by himself, just eating. He's finally gotten an actual good night's rest, so he doesn't feel as shit anymore. Recover 1 level of exhaustion.
Yay!
Yay! Which is why I didn't do strength checks as the octopus, unless I had to.
The day itself goes again pretty uneventfully. You see a small set of islands kind of off to the port side as you kind of are skirting through. You are traveling a little bit further out to sea, as it seems you're kind of avoiding some of the land features. You do know you have quite a ways to go before you reach the actual lands of Chult itself. but the rest of the trip seems to go by uneventfully. Was there anything else you guys wanted to do before reaching port?
I think at some point Garvin would approach Sahiri
Okay.
and Sahiri, what sort of divine forces would work directly against Kalemvor?
Can't hear you again. Try again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on because I haven't messed with the plug or anything. Me and technology. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. He certainly had his trials, and has some enemies. He, I mean, his greatest enemy was Cyric. Um, he had a hard life before he became a god.
Was he like, I mean, not liked?
He was cursed. Um, he, I mean, he did what adventurers do. He was an adventurer. He hung out with, he traveled with others like himself. He helped in overthrowing Cyric.
So here you also know that one of the major oppositions to Kelemvor's domain is Velsharoon, the necromancer god.
I mean, he reveres and feels that there's a place for death, whereas Velshun feels that the power of necromancy is overwhelming, whereas Kelemvor feels that those souls should be able to rest.
I mean, I died and came back. I learned something. It's different.
There's a difference in making your peace with your death and requesting that your life continue, as opposed to somebody making that decision for your body or your spirit. Um, I feel.
Maybe we should
mean,
look for people connected to this Velsharoon near Samarok. Just
it's
be
entirely
wary.
possible. As I said, I know what little I know of Cholt, that there is a lot of undead. I mean, and a lot of unrest. So I will keep my eyes open for such things and hopefully not lose myself in that cause.
I'm starting to feel like everything's connected. You, me, Coco, Murray, like the gods are using us like playthings, strings that they're all pulling to some bigger purpose.
People are chosen for a reason. Whether it is, I don't see it as playthings. I see it as, just like with death. We have a set birth, we have a set death. You can rush to it faster, but you have a path, you have a purpose, and when you have fulfilled your purpose, hopefully that is when your end comes.
But some even become gods like Kalemvor.
Some people do. I mean, as I said, it was not an easy path, and I would imagine it was not an easy choice when he reached that fork in the road. I mean, he initially went and made many choices based on who he was as a person before he realized that in order to do what he has to do, he had to lose some of his humanity, most of his humanity, in order to come to peace and come to power. So he made great sacrifices for that godhood.
I wonder what it would be like to be that intimate with death. I wouldn't want that.
I think at that point he may have seen it as he was out of options. He was unhappy in life, and he could have a chance to make death not the horror that it once was for people. He could bring a peace and a serenity with death and not just fear. And I'd say that's worth the loss of one's humanity to help bring that peace to a greater number than just yourself.
So that's what you do every day.
That's what I try to do, is let people know that it is okay to be sad. It is okay to miss and to not necessarily want to end that path, but that end really does come to us all at some point. And that there are other things that happen past that point. It is an end, kind of like ending a book or ending a chapter. There's more after it, potentially, depending on your life choices.
Well, I know it's not our end yet. There's plans for us. So we've got the gods on our side.
Let's hope we continue to honor their visions or their hopes.
I tried talking to him. The holy symbol got warm. He responded.
He did. Get a response. When we think of responding as humanity, we think of long responses. I would imagine as a god, you have many voices calling to you at any given moment. So any sign should be taken as a great honor of a response.
I think Garvin kind of gives you a nod, and that's like the last thing he says to you as he walks off.
So you guys continue on. The travel is, again, relatively easy. You don't run across any other attacks of creatures. Eventually, Captain Legs comes and tells you that tomorrow you all will be arriving within the Bay of Chult into Port Nyanzuru.
Oh, perfect. Let's make sure the heart's ready. I'm going to be offering that to the dragon turtle. It's got to be a delicacy.
Oh, that would be quite the offering indeed. That'll save us some gold, that's for sure. I think the boys will be happy not to chip in some of their earnings for this trip.
Oh.
The next day, you guys are bound around a large archipelago, not archipelago, peninsula. And find yourself in the opening of a large bay. As you get into the opening, the water stirs, and a gargantuan dragon turtle comes out of the water. It has ships, it has gold, it has treasures that you've never, ever seen. Even from within Aranax's sanctum, within the hidden shrine, the hidden vault within Waterdeep. This dwarfs that in comparison.
Well, Gavin, would you like to do the honors?
Yes. I'm sorry, what's your name?
And you don't actually get an answer from it. It just looks up. expecting.
Well, I am Garvin Morningstar, and I have brought you this young Kraken's heart. And I kind of like motion to it on the deck.
And it bows its head and kind of does a toss motion and with its head like
I'm just gonna cast catapult.
on the heart.
Do not
Yeah,
catapult
I'll
the
just-
heart at
It's a
this.
little
I'll shoot
big.
it above.
It's a
I'll
little
shoot it
big.
okay, never mind that. I was just gonna fling it up.
Garvin casts levitate and levitates
That
it right over.
works better.
The heart floats across. You manage to push it all the way out. The turtle takes it, and you see it snag it in its teeth. It rolls it around a little bit, and then just goes and swallows it whole. And then lowers itself back down into the water.
That thing looked like candy in its mouth. God, oh, that was big.
I give him a little elbow nudge. You did good. We didn't
This
die.
thing was easily 3 times the size of your ship.
Well, that thing would have killed us with a second thought, but you did good.
It must like Krakens.
I guess so. Or really,
I mean,
Or
hate
not,
something that big?
or not like Kraken.
Yeah, or really. hate
Captain Leg sounds a bit. If he didn't like Krakens, we wouldn't still be here. Or we would, but be at the bottom of the bay.
Well, Lisa didn't cost us any gold.
Aye, the crew's quite thankful for such things.
That's good.
So you make your way further into the bay, and you see, as you're heading down off to the port side, you see a small, looks like a small military base, almost like a barracks of sort, hidden off into the side of right along the edge of the forest. And then as you come down, you see colors. You see so many colors of this coming from this city. These extravagant buildings just covered with these cloth banners and ribbon and designs, and it's something just takes your breath away.
Are there does it look like house sigils or some sort of?
Nothing you can see in that regard from the bay. It's
Okay.
literally just all sorts of colors all over the place. There's no specific banners or anything like that. It's just it's a lot. The city is just it literally the port itself is an explosion of color. It's all over the place. Buildings are painted shades of blue, green, orange, salmon pink. There are murals all over the place. This is where Waterdeep is really strictly about the houses and the districts. This is all just extravagance of color. As you get closer towards the port itself, you see children are dressed in feathered hats. You see people dressed in colorful clothing. You also know it's really warm.
Yeah. Oh no, Murray's leaning on his staff because he's from the frickin' Arctic. So this is water deep is warm.
Oh, this feels great.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
I
this
could get
is
used to this.
this is the taking the summers of
Renowned.
Waterdeep, but yeah, adding just almost like you're cutting through the
Humidity.
air. The humidity is very high. It's cooler on the bay because the wind is blowing through, but you can just feel the heat starting to grow as you roll out there.
Okay, I'm gonna need to replace this armor because God is hot.
Like a new outfit. I could sketch up some ideas.
You can see on the southern part of the island. Hold on. I need a map of Port Yautzer. Yeah.
Adrian is measuring you with his thumb.
As you enter into the actual city itself, you enter the harbor ward. You see parts of the street are lined off. You see crowds along the edges of the street watching as you see reptilian creatures being ridden by riders running around in the city. Some painted
Dude,
different
that's
colors,
cool.
Tahiri's
What
that
was that?
dinosaur.
with their riders also wearing matching colors as well.
That's a dinosaur. This is so fucking exciting. I've never been this excited
Murray's
in my whole life.
vibrating.
I think the entire all the parties like.
Murray, could you turn into one of those?
I mean, you
I
probably
gotta
gotta
watch
get
it for a
close
while. I
there.
gotta kind of understand what it is. I gotta basically get me to a stable, give me a day, and oh yeah,
Let's do it.
maybe.
Coco's
Wow.
looking around, kind of hopefully, she's kind of trying to see if there's anyone who looks like her.
You do not see anybody that looks like you. You do see Tabaxi walking around. Lithe, skinny.
Yeah, so Coco
feline
pokes Murray.
creatures.
Tabaxi.
I lean down because this could be awkward. They're so adorable.
This is gonna go bad.
The ship finally pulls into the dock. You see a golden dragonborn
Ooh.
walking towards your ship from the port.
Garvin elbows Adrian and kind of like pushes
Yeah,
him
no,
forward,
I'm-
like your
you-
turn.
Sorry,
You
not
go to
Dragonborn,
get
he's a
that
half
second
dragon.
Elbow. You go to get that second elbow towards me, and I'm already like walking. I just meet him at the gangway.
Yeah, the gangplank is let down, and he comes up to the edge of the ship. Welcome to Port Nyanzaru. My name is Zindar. I am harbor master for the port. What brings you to our fair city?
A bit of a work vacation, actually. My name is Adrian Morningstar, and these are my companions, Garvin, Sahiri, Murray, and Coco. And we are here doing a bit of research and doing a bit of sightseeing and perhaps a little bit of adventuring. We've heard tale of an area that's been less than friendly lately, and we're very curious about that. Can you
I have a
remind me your
friend in
name?
the
I do
city I'm
apologize.
just liking to meet. A merchant.
Ah,
I'm
You
here
are the
for the
crew.
flora and fauna.
you are the crew that Merchant Person Wakanga has been waiting for.
Yep.
Very well.
I should really just be more upfront, huh?
I mean, it didn't seem like it was that big a deal.
Oh no, I didn't. I wasn't trying to hide it. I just kind of buried the lead then, huh? Oops.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
No, it's good save. Thanks.
Something that would help us find the merchant, sir.
Ah, yes.
I mean, if he's been expecting us,
And
can
do you have a list of laws? At home and Waterdeep, there's a list.
The
Oh, that's a
things
good
are not
one.
nearly as. I have been to Waterdeep. Things are not nearly as
strict, stringent,
Organized.
military?
I mean, technically, we were a guardsman. We could do what we wanted anyways because we worked for the Open Lord, but that's neither here nor there.
No, this is
So basically, don't be arseholes and don't steal, and we're good.
Yeah. So what's off limits? We
Well-
should probably start there.
I would suggest that
Why don't
are
you let him speak?
I suggest that you treat the merchant princes with respect as they are the governing council within the city. Be very careful outside in the old city as things are a little bit looser outside the walls. And
Are they
mind,
just two?
uh,
Sorry.
I mean, don't steal, don't kill. I mean, there's the general
The
Good
obvious ones, got
Samaritan
it.
things.
Understand. Okay. No, no, no. Understood.
Our man's like,
understood.
oh lord, what am I letting into my city?
Sorry, I have a practical question. I have literally never met a Tabaxi before. Could you describe their demeanor to me so I don't offend?
Well, they are very they're very different. Their names have meaning.
Oh.
They tend to be a little bit more in tune with nature. But they are
Ooh.
also, some of them are mischievous in their own right, but they also have their own personality.
Okay.
I recommend you don't call them a cat.
That
That's
actually was my next question. What's the okay, thank you.
That's
Kind of
that's a
like
good tip.
and I'm like measuring myself up in comparison with him. Is he bigger than me?
Yeah. Well, no,
Okay.
he's probably on par with you. He's
You're
broader,
a very insightful man.
but
to
he's
give
not
us
quite
that tip.
as tall.
For example, no disrespect to you, my good sir, but I've met Dragonborn back home that are a lot smaller. You're big.
I am no dragonborn. I am half dragon.
There's a difference. I'm learning things. Thank you. I appreciate the lesson.
I hope this isn't out of turn, but is this your ancestral homeland? I've never met a half dragon before.
Oh no, I do not hail from Chult. This is where I work, and this is where it's become my new home.
Well, like, where do your people come from? I'm
We
wondering
don't.
how I can.
There is no. We're
No?
not exactly a
Okay.
race that congregates. We're usually
Oh.
the breed of a dragon with another being.
Oh, so dragons themselves are solitary and like to isolate because they're, dragons. And it's, so you carry that characteristic. Oh, that is fascinating.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm sure you're very busy.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I get excited.
Just one last thing. Can you point us in the direction of the merchant we are here? Who is supposedly waiting on us?
Yes.
Also, this is Captain Legs. He takes care of the boat and all relevant situations therein. I just foot the bill.
So he points to there's a large building to the straight south if you stay along the borders of the bay, but then hit straight south from the center. There's a great building of multiple colors. It's called the Grand Souk. That is our great it's our great jewel market and one of the main trade districts within the city.
Ooh.
Just to the west of that is the Merchant's Villa. Merchant Prince Wakanga Otamu is the third one from the entrance into their villas. I believe he will be waiting for you, as I believe somebody has already informed him of your arrival.
I sure hope so.
Sorry, one last question. The dinosaurs that I've heard about, are they bitey?
Some. The younger
Okay.
ones tend to bite a little bit more because they don't know better.
Okay.
But there are some that will, if their owners are not there to keep them at bay, they may
Try to
eat you.
Ooh, okay.
And keep in mind, what we keep in the city are generally the smaller ones.
They get bigger.
Like a riding dinosaur goes by, like that one. Is there a stable where I could just sit and maybe study one for a while? I just need to learn.
Of course.
Is there a library around?
Oh,
Never thought I'd
because
ask that question.
I'm kind of with the natural druidic arts, and let's face it, something like that is kind of my bread and butter, you know.
They are in Tariki Anchorage, which you can find.
I'm sorry. Honestly, is there any chance we can just get a map from you? I'm sure we can find our way around town pretty well ourselves. I'm sure you're busy.
You are better off finding one within the Grand Souk. I do not have any of capability here, but if you're looking for the pens, they're in the southwest corner of the city, or not southwest. Southeast corner of the city. But if you want to go to the Grand Souk, you can find just about anything you need for the right price, of course.
Now that sounds like a good place to be.
I think Garvin just pulls out 10 platinum. Here's a donation for your city. And hands it over to him. And thank you for your time.
It has been my pleasure.
Oh,
If there's anything you
trust me,
need from anything on the
pleasures-
docks, please do not feel free to. Please feel free to ask.
As soon as he walks away, wow, no one's ever said it's been their pleasure after talking to us for about 2.5 minutes. This is a first. I like this place.
Murray shakes his hand or reaches out to shake his hand because he just wants to touch a half dragon and say that he did. A pleasure to meet you.
And you.
Oh, you're strong. Okay. Have a good day. Later. He's
All right.
so strong. Like, you know a lot. You can tell a lot about somebody by their grip. That guy could probably crush my hand.
You notice at his side he actually has a wand, so you think he has some sort of casting capability as well. But either way, he points you guys in the direction. He mentions heading to the Grand Souk, but we will save that, I think, for next session. As we have now arrived in the city of Port Nyanzaru on the islands of Chult. The directions of heading towards Samarak are getting closer. Bested a juvenile kraken. I think the party has more than earned their rest for the evening. So with that, we will be back in 2 weeks. I don't think there's anything going on. I really should check for holidays and stuff like that before I say, hey, this is definitely happening.
Yeah, I don't think
no,
so.
it's the 27th.
We're at that.
2 weeks is the 27th.
Yeah, we're good. So, we'll be back with this in 2 weeks. We'll see what happens in Port Nyanzaru and what kind of leads and things the party's able to find. And we'll go from there. Aside from that, Saturday I'll be back with playing some Phasmophobia, as we have been. But I will have some slightly different colored hair, as the color purple has been chosen as my hair color, and we have got it, and it's
You
now...
ever find out who the anonymous
I do.
donor was?
He's right over there.
Ah.
Yes, it was rhythmic. So yes, he picked purple, and that's what we're gonna go with. I got some dye, and we're gonna put that in on Saturday.
Nice.
Very cool.
And then regular schedule next week, Tuesday and Saturday. Next Saturday will be more D&Ds as we're continuing on with that adventure with my Artificer. Yes, as that's been an interesting adventure so far. And we'll be back on Rhythmic's channel on Thursday for more Eberron. So
very
excited you guys actually make it to the town this time. I thought we'd make it to town last week and we never did. Like we just kind of, you guys had fun.
Yep, that's been a big RP deal for us. So anyways, guys, thank you so much as always for hanging out, and this crew will see you guys in 2 weeks, and I'll see you guys on Saturday. So have a great night.
Take off, eh?